one of the memorable leading actresses of old Hollywood. She was able to be a queen and become a legend of the silver screen. Her relationship with Richard Burton had made her story being a thing of legend and even a real life story in Hollywood. A dame who played many roles for over 60 years and still remembered today for her humanitarian work as well as being a Hollywood actress. This is the majestic Elizabeth Taylor, and this is her basic biography. Early life. Elizabeth Rosamond Taylor was born on the 27th of February 1932 in London, England. She was born into a rich family with her father being an art dealer and her mother being a retired actress. Her parents were from the United States and was able to become British citizens and even American citizens. She spent most of her childhood in London based on her parents being able to live and work in the UK. Sometime after her birth, and even managed to study in the country of her own birth. Living in high society, Elizabeth Taylor was able to attend schools such as the Montessori and then finished the rest of her education with her brother in the United States. She moved to the United States during World War II and was able to attend schools in California with her older brother in tow, with her parents still carrying on with their jobs in Los Angeles, California during the 1940s. Once Liz Taylor was able to finish school, she was able to become an actress in Hollywood at an early age. Young star with early start. At a young age, in her teens, Elizabeth Taylor was able to start work in Hollywood and work with other child actors or young actors at the time. One young actor, Mickey Rooney, was able to appear in one of her first films or film roles called The National Velvet in 1944, where Taylor played a young girl who falls in love with a drifter and wants to live with him. She was able to work in other movie roles during the early 1940s, but these roles were smaller, but not the leading younger roles that she wanted to star in the mid 1940s. She was considered to be one of the youngest leading actresses because of a young age, as most of her films were based on younger people as well as other actors who were more older and even more experienced. She was able to break into movies that were targeting families rather than older generations. She was able to show her acting talents by working on roles that were based in the United States, like Lassie or Little Women, as well as working in the United Kingdom with roles such as Jane Eyre. With these with her acting talents, she was able to work and even build a singing career as well as an acting career, accompanied by young dancers and old audiences. These roles would be helping her act with bigger stars and even stars such as Julie Garland and Lana Turner. During the 1950s, she was able to grow older and take on roles with older actors and actresses due to her young style, who is who was also building her acting experience at the same time. Movies such as Father of the Bride and Ivanhoe made that change happen, and even later making her into a Hollywood queen, basically on her transition from younger roles to older roles. Hollywood Queen. The ball was rolling in Liz Taylor's favor, as she was able to turn into an adult very fast in the 1950s, spending her time on the silver screen with actors such as George Sanders, Tove Van Johnson, who were talented and credited for their silver screen movies. She would be making headlines of being the new talent in Hollywood, in the 1950s based on being a young and beautiful actress, which could help open the doors to more movies and sometimes appearing on stage. Most of the time, she would spend her personal life with men and even converse with other actresses to help with their acting skills, getting some disappointments during her time in Hollywood for being too young and even being a young actress at the time. She was able to be a distinguished actress by making herself into a British woman or or acting like an American woman, depending on the roles. Her luck was about to change, making her a young actress working with older actors to working with mostly Hollywood heavyweights at the time. She would win her first Academy Award in 1960 in the movie Butterfield 8. This was a big leap from winning small awards due to her small acting credits. She managed to win two Golden Globes in the 1950s. The 1960s ushered in a new era for Elizabeth Taylor, one of winning more awards and even hearts of adults rather than young adults at the time. Cleopatra in 1963 was that film, which actually changed her from being an upcoming star to a legitimate Hollywood legend. She was able to play Queen of Egypt, Cleopatra, very well and starred alongside with her future husband, Richard Burton. She was able to become a queen of the silver screen based on her performance, and later on she would be able to take on many roles from TV to film. Personal life and final years. Elizabeth Taylor was married at least 8 times and had 7 husbands. Also had 4 children. First husband was Conrad Hilton Jr. The couple were married from 1950 to 1951. Second husband was Michael Wilding. This relationship lasted from 1952 to 1957. Third husband was Mike Todd, and their relationship lasted from 1957 to 1958. With fourth husband, this was Eddie Fisher from 1959 to 1964. Her fifth husband was the man she loved on screen and even off screen, and this was Richard Burton. Their relationship lasted on and off as well, with their first marriage being 1964 to 1974, then getting married again in 1975 to 1976. John Warner was her sixth husband, and their relationship lasted from 1976 to 1982. Her final husband was Larry Fornesky, and they lasted from 1991 to 1996. In her final years, Elizabeth Taylor was able to play notable characters and even now older women on the big screen and on television. She sometimes worked on stage with Richard Burton before his death, and sometimes would have fights with her ex-husband, still managed to keep her stardom at the same time, but would work with more people outside of Hollywood. Being able to provide support to many people who needed it, with donations to charities and becoming involved in activism, sometimes dealing with her own business ventures at the same time. Her last movie was The Flintstones in 1994, and her last television appearance was These Old Broads in 2001, after being retired on from the screen and stage, uh, which she was able to be playing and even starring in various roles over 60 years. Legacy of a Hollywood Queen. Elizabeth Taylor was one of the last old Hollywood actresses to appear on the screen till the 21st century, and still kept working and campaigning as a humanitarian until her retirement in 2003. She was made a dame by Queen Elizabeth II in the UK and was able to spend most of her time and even some time with stars as well as royalty in her final years. The Queen of Hollywood, Elizabeth Taylor, passed away on the 23rd of March 2011 in Los Angeles, California, United States, at the age of 79 due to heart failure. Her legacy was a big one, and her Hollywood lifestyle is shown on television to cinema within the modern era. She was also remembered for her charitable work in her later life, and even being well known as an actress spending time with people in their later lives. She even was a patron to cinema and becoming one of the greatest Hollywood stars in her generation due to her performances. She was another strong female which made it to Hollywood with an upper class manner and becoming a legend due to her relationship with Richard Burton. They would not live with each other, but they could not live without each other. Yet they lived on Hollywood and even became Hollywood legends, basically on their relationship, and sometimes being portrayed on television today. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe if you haven't done so. I'm Suki Cookie, and thank you for watching.